Hi Malika.
Hi Harley.
Hi everybody.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to Sonder and Salt, the weekly podcast about the magic of eating.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm alright. Should we tell the listeners what we actually did today?
Yeah. Well, should we or should we let them wait?
We'll make you wait.
Okay.
But just know,
Yeah.
we conducted some market research today for a very special episode that we have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing some active taste testing, and if you follow us on Instagram, you've probably seen a little bit about it.
Yes.
So if you don't follow us, this is your sign. This is genuine. You know when people say there's like sneak peeks on places?
No, this is a sneak peek.
This is a genuine. We actually put stuff live as we do on Instagram. So if you want more Sonder and Salt or the inside scoop of what's coming up on future episodes, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow us on TikTok as well, over on YouTube, and don't forget to rate and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify. I'm gonna assume there's a rating system on Amazon Music. I don't use it.
Probably.
But we there, Google
Yeah.
Podcasts, and
Anywhere we are,
Yeah.
you just check if you can rate it.
Yeah. And also come and chat to us on Twitter.
Yes.
Because a couple of people have realised that we're on Twitter and we see them tweeting about us, and we don't use it that much, but I check it often enough to catch any interaction. So we are there if you want. If you've got more to say.
Exactly.
If you've got more to say.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What was your food highlight of the week?
Right, so my food highlight of the week was a Caribbean Sunday roast.
Okay.
I went to Elmo's, which is in Woodford, East London, pretty much like the edge of Essex. There is a Caribbean food company, I guess you could call them, called Jam Shack.
Right.
They have a residency at Elmo's.
Okay.
So Elmo's is like a event space, bar type of thing, and then Jam Shack have a residency in their kitchen, and they are offering a Sunday roast, Jamaican-esque
Okay.
menu. Yeah, and obviously Caribbean Sunday roast, probably like the last year have really blown up.
They have.
Yeah, there's the one.
Guanabana. That's the
Oh
one I
yeah, you
went
tried
to.
Guanabana.
Yeah.
There's the one in South London at Bustermantis. That's really popular, but it's in like Peckham. I just don't. Or Deptford. It's in Deptford actually, and I just cannot bring myself on a Sunday to make that journey.
There. I've seen some tweets about that.
Anyway, I'm gonna be honest. The cocktails there are questionable.
Okay.
Highly questionable. Right. But the Sunday roast, I've heard a lot. I've heard more positive things than I have heard negative things, and it does look quite good on the camera. But I went to Elmo's, like I said, had Jam Shack, and overall it was nice. I will say that much. I went for the lamb. So it was like a slow cooked lamb, some potatoes, some roast potatoes, a little bit of veg. It was carrots, like the long fancy carrots.
Oh, okay.
Tender stem broccoli, and I think a little bit of cabbage. And a couple of bits of plantain on the side, a Yorkshire pudding, and some gravy.
Yeah.
And then we also had the macaroni cheese, some coleslaw, and my guest. They had the sea bass with rice and peas, and I think it came with sea bass, rice and peas, plantain, and some other bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Overall, it was nice. I can't say I didn't enjoy it. There were some things I felt could have been better, or I would have preferred slightly differently. Like they leave the skin on the potatoes.
I don't mind that.
And they were cut kind of small. With roast potatoes, I prefer the skin off.
I feel like if they were so when I do them in the air fryer, if they're baby potatoes, I think the skin.
No, like actual Sunday roast potatoes. I think they should be peeled, and I think they should be of a substantial size, quartered. These were almost like eighths. Like the pieces were cut into like eighths, so it was kind of feeling like a breakfast potato more than a roast potato.
Like those M&S.
Yeah,
the very square ones.
Exactly. But the lamb was good. I can't say the lamb wasn't good. It was nice. Yes. It was cooked to perfection. Really, can't complain. The mac and cheese was good. I enjoyed that. Probably had like 4 cheeses in there. Had a good flavour. The coleslaw, I kind of felt like the ratio of cabbage to carrots was a bit off. It was just basically cabbage.
Okay.
And I like my coleslaw with cabbage and carrots. But it did have that hint of Jamaican sweetness. You know, when Caribbean people make coleslaw, they add a bit of sugar to it.
I don't.
Or quite a bit. Well, really know.
You waxed off my coleslaw when you ate my coleslaw, so don't even try it.
Some people, more time, do you know what I mean? It had that
but I
flavor.
do half, I think, because I do salad cream and mayo.
Oh,
that's probably
okay,
the sweetness.
that's probably why.
Yeah, it's a mix
if it's just like mayonnaise and then a bit of sugar.
Salad cream as well.
Okay, cool.
Mostly mayo, but salad cream. I digress.
Yeah, so overall, I will say it was nice. I've realised having that, the lamb, because it didn't come with the rice and peas, it was in a bit of a Sunday dinner black hole for me. It didn't quite feel Caribbean because it didn't come with the rice and peas. And because it didn't come with the rice and peas, the addition of mac and cheese and coleslaw, it was a bit, I was having it and I was tasting it, but it didn't really work with the dish overall.
Yeah.
I think if I'd had added on the rice and peas, then it would have felt like a Caribbean Sunday dinner for me. But that's just not how they serve it. Yeah. So.
But you enjoyed it. It's your food highlight of the week.
Yeah, it's my food highlight of the week. I would say try it.
Yes.
I would say try it. I'm still interested to try the Buster Mantis one, but it exceeded my expectations. I won't say that my expectations were very high. I was looking forward to it, but I just kind of thought, let's see. But I'm not a big Sunday roast.
Oh, I've got a roast tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah.
My experience at Guanabana was good in terms of the food was actually really, really good. I've got a reel which I will share to you this
quite popular,
when this comes out. Yeah, it's really popular, and you pretty much have to book for the Sunday. I mean, you kind of have to book a Sunday roast anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless you're just going to walk into any pub, which we did once.
Yeah, that one was good.
And we got lucky.
I like that one.
Yeah, Guanabana was really good as well. So I'll share that if anybody's interested in somewhere else. If they've been to Jam Shack already.
For a Caribbean one
specifically. For a Caribbean one specifically, yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to mention the dessert.
Go on.
We had the apple crumble, which I actually quite liked. Very crumble heavy. Crumble
forward.
Yeah, crumble forward. And I did enjoy that. It came with an ice cream. Well, it said vanilla gelato, but it wasn't the best gelato I had. It was more creamy than what I'm used to for a gelato. So it tasted like ice cream. And then we also tried the banana cake, which was a big fat no. It tasted like a whole bunch of banana essence was in there.
Oh no.
It didn't taste like
artificial
real banana. Yeah, it tasted very artificial, almost perfumey, you know?
Yeah,
there's
exactly
essences, they use like alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
So that weren't hitting, but the apple crumble was good. Yeah, the apple crumble was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the fruit thread.
Okay.
My food highlight of the week is that I bought a juicer.
Yes, welcome to my world.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I bought the same one that I bought my dad a few years ago, which I think I spoke about when we had a conversation about juicers. Is that on Kitchen Appliances episode, maybe?
I think it is on Kitchen Appliances because I said it was one of my favourite kitchen appliances.
I'll link that below as well, that previous episode that we did all about kitchen appliances. But I'm in love with my juicer.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So it's a masticating juicer, which is the best kind that you can go for in terms of that creates a cold press juice. There's no blade chopping up the veg. It literally just squeezes it into a spiral and then just squishes the juice all the way out. And I've been juicing carrots and beetroots and apples and broccoli.
You juiced broccoli?
Yeah.
How did that taste?
Well, I just made a green juice, so it doesn't really give off much flavour. So I made green juice, carrot juice, and then I made another batch of carrot juice that I added beetroot to, because I do not like beetroot.
On the last episode, was it controversial food opinions?
Potentially, unless it tastes like dirt and papaya.
Yeah.
I don't like beetroot, but I've got the juicer to juice specifically around some health concerns. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And doing my research and stuff, beetroot kept coming up. So I was like, I've got to bite the bullet. So
it's really good for your blood.
Yeah, so I bought some organic beetroot, only because all the like non-organic beetroot was like pre-boiled. You know when it's like vacuum packed.
Yeah.
So the only way I could buy beetroot like out of the ground
with the
stems
on it,
was to get the organic. But it's fine. That was the most expensive like
Did
veg
you cook
that
the
I got.
stems?
I just juiced the whole thing. Juiced everything.
I cooked them. I made them into a salad, I think, once.
Yeah, I juiced the whole
juicing.
thing. But yeah, the broccoli and the whole broccoli stalk.
Yeah.
I just chopped it up a bit smaller because it doesn't really catch in the like cruncher, the squeezer. But
the masticator.
Whatever. It was great and I love it. And hopefully, I haven't shared any of my juicing stuff yet on my juicing journey.
Yeah.
But once I start reaping the rewards and working out which ones are tasting good, because I won't lie, one of them tasted like a bag of vegetables.
Okay.
I haven't quite perfected that one there. That one had beetroot.
Eat a bit of pineapple if you can to your green juice.
Yeah.
A little bit of pineapple
to cut the edge.
Yeah, it just gives it a bit of.
And I was surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised because that's what happens. I squished down a whole bag of spinach.
Yeah.
2 teaspoons of
juice. Yeah, nothing comes out.
Nothing.
It's a joke.
But everyone was telling me, so I think maybe what the gag is with the spinach is maybe to blend it into a juice.
Okay, so you get the fibre.
At least then you just use the whole thing. Okay. I thought like it just turned from spinach into squished shredded spinach on the other side. So we're going to revisit that. But that's my highlight of the week.
Well, welcome. I love when people love juicing. I love juicing. Do you find that using the juicer is better than blending the fruits with a bit of water and putting it through the sieve?
You get much more flavour. Yeah. Like it's not dilute.
The potency.
The potency.
That's what
Even
I love
though you've got
it.
Technically you've got the whole vegetable or fruit in the blended version, obviously minus a bit of pulp, the flavour is completely different. And I got this big bag of ginger from Asda, and I did that first to do ginger shots, and then I added back some ginger into all the juices once I'd done it. This whole bag of ginger juiced out into so much juice. I was thinking to myself, and Marks Spencer have the cheek
to
sell this thing here for £2.30.
Because they add apple juice to it as well.
So I bought 3 M&S ones a little while ago, and I've just reused the bottles.
Okay.
So I've got a little measure that I can just throw in my bag when I'm leaving in the morning. But yeah, thanks for having me in Juicing Club.
Oh yeah, welcome.
Well, I don't know how long I'm going to be in Juicing Club because this week is Easter, and it's not very juice forward season.
There isn't space and time for that.
Like around all the other things we have to eat and do, but Easter is this week. If you're listening when this episode comes out, well, this is Holy Week. If you are actually celebrating Easter, we have the start of kind of what I think is the start of the Easter, which is Good Friday.
Okay.
Good Friday, traditionally, I think this is across the world, and maybe it's because it's a Christian tradition to eat fish on Good Friday.
Well, you say that, but I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I remember in school, some of my schoolmates would make the point that not eating meat on Good Friday is not a thing for them. Yeah, I'm not sure what denominations exactly it is, but I know some denominations, it doesn't specify that you must only eat fish on Good Friday. This is what they used to tell me.
I think that's because I also went to Catholic school. It is a Catholic thing, but I think it's rooted in Catholicism, it's not necessarily rooted in the Bible. Okay. It's not biblical, but the significance of it from Catholicism is that Jesus sacrificed his flesh on Good Friday, so we refrain from eating meat on Good Friday. Right. Which is weird because obviously an animal is made of flesh and is alive. But anyway.
Yeah. I thought it was to do with when he's...
feeding of the fat. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Apparently not. Apparently due to the archdiocese of one of these many archdioceses.
Yeah.
Archbishops, that's what it says here. Okay. Practice began in the early days of the church. In the early years of Christianity in Europe, the church instituted the practice of requiring the faithful to abstain from eating meat on Fridays as a whole in memory of Christ's death.
So every Friday?
So yeah, like, is that not a thing to you?
That every single Friday?
Yeah. So like Fish and Chip Friday, that comes from, like as an English thing, that comes from the Church of England.
So I would say yes, it's a thing for me.
Yeah.
But
not for
it's not... Potentially that's the roots of it, but it wasn't my awareness that fish is normal on a Friday because of
as a Christian belief.
Yeah, so even growing up, we'd have like fried fish and whatever on a Friday, like as a preference, and that probably is just like tradition and what has been normalized. But I didn't realize it was like every Friday.
But that's a crossover, I think, from where religion and culture intersects and has done for obviously since the early days of Christianity, because you're right, the sense of in Jamaica especially, or traditionally where we can speak that we're from, you just eat fish on Friday just because, and you might not know why, you might not be particularly religious, but that's where it comes from.
Interesting.
That's where it comes from. And I feel like as well the Good Friday thing is wider across like all religions. I get maybe culturally as well. I think you just know other people are doing it. Like there's a queue at the fishmongers 2 days before Good Friday. Like you're like, what's going on?
Good Friday is like Fish Friday.
Fish Friday.
If there's a Friday that you're gonna have fish for the whole year, it's gonna be Good Friday. Yeah.
Well, what is your experience with fish on Good Friday? Because if anybody didn't know, we are Jamaican.
Girl, they're gonna get sick of us.
I mean, there are so many wonderful ways and wonderful fish that we have in our culture, but what's your experience?
So my experience on Good Friday is that we have fried fish, escabeche fish, and so when I was younger, my mum has always been into catering. People know her for her escabeche fish. So she will always, I don't know if she's going to do it this year, but she'll always fry fish. And people will either buy it or she'll give it to some people that are really close to her. And if they don't want to have to fry fish on Good Friday, they will get it from my mum. So she's got like her usuals. No.
Has she really taken the orders for this year?
I don't know if she's doing it this year, to be honest. She might be out of the game now, but that was a thing. So I spent many years of my life on Good Friday going to the fish market and then helping her clean the fish, cook the fish, and it all had to be done.
On the Friday itself? Or maybe the Thursday.
We went on the Thursday to get the fish, but on the Friday I would be spending hours frying fish, chopping up, Thursday nights, cutting up the onions and the peppers. And
so talk to us about that. Talk to us about that, the pickle. I'm gonna play devil's advocate to get you to actually talk in detail so that everyone can hear what's going on.
What are you asking me? How I make it?
What is it?
So escabeche is basically, escabeche has Portuguese roots.
Okay.
Escabeche, I think is how they say it.
Yeah.
And it is basically a pickle.
Yes.
And it's pickled vegetables, but the vegetables really are onions, carrots,
mixed bell pepper.
Yeah, mixed pepper. So you've got to have the red, gold, and green.
Yes. Yes.
My mum, and I think it's probably something in my family, we like to add in chocho as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really love it. Really good.
Okay.
And if you want to be a bit fancy, you can slice cucumbers in there. And it almost gives like a kind of gherkiny, but that's not traditional. That is just like
onion
that is nice.
And the peppers and the onion, carrot, and peppers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people add chocho, but some people, not everybody utilizes chocho in the same way anymore. But if you do, it's nice to add in there. And then you use vinegar.
Yes.
If you want it to taste,
vinegar.
White vinegar. I use white wine vinegar.
Of course you do.
I would be honest. And if you want it to have a good flavour, you use a little bit of the oil that you fried the fish in. But some people, I like to add a bit of oil. I don't like when it's just straight vinegar.
My mum, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know, but carry on.
Yeah. So a little bit of oil because when you've got it, it gives it a bit of a gloss and it gives it a bit of a flavour. I like that. You add in some pimento seeds, Scotch bonnet, and I add in a bit of like cracked black pepper in there.
Cracked, not coarse.
No. Well, I actually use ground mixed peppercorns now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it gives it a really good little fragrant flavour. And ground mixed peppercorns have got pimento in there. But that's how I make mine. I wouldn't necessarily say mine is like the most traditional.
Authentic. Yeah.
But it's got the traditional roots. I just choose to tweak a couple of the ingredients that I'm using.
Yeah. As time goes on. Well, that is a very similar experience to me. I'm just here looking at my phone because on my blog, on the 29th of March 2013, I have a whole Good Friday fried fish post all about with my mum's recipe for her escabeche fish for Good Friday.
Oh yeah, garlic.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved and you haven't done before, or you are Jamaican and just don't know what to do, I will put the link to this in the description because even my mum goes back to this link every year. Yeah. So just to be like, what do I do again? Because I'm telling you, she will fry fish one day a year and it's Good Friday. Like you said, if there's any one Fish Friday, this is it. Yeah.
And ginger, I do add ginger.
Ginger and carrot she puts in the actual fish itself when she actually seasons down the fish. Scotch bonnet. And for some reason, I don't know why, you will agree with this. I'm not sure why she wrote this specifically, because she wrote this. Was cover and refrigerate overnight. Do not use a plastic container.
I don't know why.
but you agree?
I'm always going to agree. It's not plastic.
And then, so continue forward with the preparation of the actual fish in terms of it's a seasoned fish, however you want to season it.
So
floured.
There's specific fishes that I like for escabeche. So specific types of fish that I like. Snapper.
Red snapper.
I like red snapper. My mum likes the grey one.
Okay.
I find the grey one has too many fine bones for me, and the amount of meat in it, it's a flatter fish. It's not as fat and as juicy, but you can fry it very dry and it can get nice and crispy. Yeah. Whereas with like red snapper, it's thicker. The meat is a bit thicker, so
deep fried.
So it's not as
shallow.
Yeah, it's not as crispy, but I like snapper. Red brim. Yes. I do like red brim as well. There's one that my mum always gets called coley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like coley. It's very chunky. The meat is very thick. It's got
white
thick
meat
bones.
Fish.
Yeah, white flesh.
I think that was one of the first fish. Well, cod and haddock. After cod and haddock, I think my dad started to test me into other white meat fish.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Yeah, I like coley. And then I also like to have sprats as well.
Oh yeah.
I love sprats.
See, I have a thing about eating the entirety of an animal. So my thing with sprats is that they have to be very small. If I feel like if I see a fish that's looking a little bit too big, if it's a bit too much looking like I could keep it in a fish tank, I can't do it. They've got to be fine. They've got to be fine.
But I always take the head off. It doesn't matter how small they are.
Yeah, I'll always take the head off.
I always take the head off. But for me, if it's too chunky, I can feel the bones. And that's what I
you're
don't
supposed
like.
to be very small.
So when they're really small and you fry them crisp, they're just crispy.
They look like little tempura snacks.
Yes, exactly. I like that. As I've grown older, I do like to add in some prawns to my escabeche. Okay. I do like that. And I think when I was in Jamaica one time, or I don't know where I was, and they had like lobster on the
Yeah.
escovitch. That was nice, but usually it's just fish.
It's a whole fish.
Yeah, whole fish. That is it. With the red brim, I'm used to it being cut up into pieces because the red brim is quite big. So the snapper will be whole, and then the brim. The fishes that are really big, we cut into like wedges or something.
Yeah.
So you have the tail and then a couple of middle pieces.
So they're cut for the audio experience.
Yeah.
Like top down of the fish, like slice the fish from head to tail into pieces so that the spine is running through every piece of the fish.
Yeah. So like if you ever bought salmon steaks, basically it's that cut
kind
in
of
the
shape,
same way.
but
like
not like
steaks.
side of fish.
It's not filleted, like there's bone running through the middle. You said. So all the fish is always boned.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really use filleted fish for escovitch.
No.
And for me, the bone adds a bit of je ne sais quoi.
Of course it does.
It needs to be on the bone. It's just a different experience with the escovitch and everything. I love it. So yeah, I season up my fish with... Well, I make my own fish seasoning.
Yeah, my mum blends.
Not gonna give away too much. You can share.
Okay, well I'll put on here. So to fry the fish, she's put seasoned fish with ground black pepper and whole pimento seeds, and there's a picture here of her mashing together, literally in the bamix, both of those things together. So freshly ground, rub all over the fish and heavily inside the cavity of each fish.
Yeah.
And then again, either in the electric blender, or in the pestle and mortar, she's put garlic, the green part of the spring onion, grated carrot. And finally chopped scotch bonnet, mix up basically that together. So you've almost got like a dry brine, almost a saltless dry brine by the sounds of it, and then more of like a actual aromatic paste.
I don't use carrots or anything like that on the fish. I use a lot of dry seasoning.
But inside, I think is her biggest stress is like not stuff it, but stuff it.
Yeah.
So that there's a proper actual fish, because the outside of the fish is not really that penetrable. You need to make sure that you've...
Does she score her fish?
Yeah.
She scores it, the fish,
score it,
push it down in there,
and make sure you've gone in the cavity, which obviously if your fishmonger has filleted your fish, you'll basically have an open cavity at the bottom of the fish.
Do you know what I did one time and I actually liked it, but I didn't grow up doing it? Is used green seasoning. So I used a mixture of like dry seasonings and then green seasoning. The Aunt May's.
Well, that's kind of what she does, because she uses the spring onion.
The Aunt May's green seasoning when I'm being lazy, because sometimes I can't bother to make green seasoning. And I just get that at my butcher. I think you can get it online. Some people have said it's hard to find, but in terms of like a jar green seasoning, I like it. There's the Barron's one, which I think is from St. Lucia.
Not sure.
It's called Barron's green seasoning. Personally, I don't like it.
It's not giving?
I don't like it. And when I read the ingredients, it just sounded like a lot of E numbers and
really?
funny bits and bobs. Yeah, whereas with the Aunt May's one, it's just like fresh ingredients that have been blended and then like preserved with like vinegar or something like that.
Okay.
So I've used some of that before, and then dried seasonings like...
Have you got a recipe for green seasoning on your YouTube channel?
No, but I've shared it on my Instagram.
Okay,
before.
so on your Instagram, we either reshare that or Terry Ann's Kitchen. She has a recipe on her channel, so we can link that.
Even
as well.
like That Nurse Can Cook. I'm
sure
she's
but that'll be on. Yeah, we'll find someone. We'll link
Yeah.
some below for sure.
It's so easy to make, of course, but
that's the thing.
I just can't always be bothered.
Can't
But yeah,
always be
I've used that to season my fish before, and then some of the dry seasonings. Yeah.
Wake up the next day and season some
has
flour.
It has to
sit in a glass container.
Yeah.
And then next morning, season your flour.
Some people don't coat their fish in flour. I like to do that.
Dredge.
My mum's always done it. It's just plain flour with
salt and pepper,
some seasonings in there.
I like
or
seasoning.
if you're being lazy, a good alternative is using like the flour that you'd buy to fry chicken.
Oh, okay.
It's quite nice.
Right,
However,
right.
you have to be careful with that because that is seasoned and salted.
Very salty.
And if your fish is seasoned and salted, it can become very salty. But if you're in the supermarket and you just want to pick something up, you can use one of those like Kentucky flours.
Yeah. And that's the end of the fish's journey. Then it ends up submerged in oil and fried on both sides until it's crispy and golden and cooked. And as you know, lobster tails, not lobster tires. Seafood does not take that long to cook.
Yeah.
But the likelihood that in your home you'll be able to have a pan or a few pans that fry that many fish at one time. In this picture on the blog post, I can see there were 3 going on in what I know is the biggest frying pan we had at the time. So it's batches.
Well, I do mine in a deep fat fryer because I ain't got the time. Yeah, my mum's always...
but catering wise, of course.
Yeah, we've done it. So now I've got a small little deep fat fryer that can either hold one whole fish or a few smaller pieces. Fish. Yeah, I like to just do it in the deep fat fryer.
You didn't mention your deep fat fryer on the kitchen appliances episode.
I bought it the other day because I made escovitch fish for somebody. So I needed it. I've actually got a big deep fat fryer, but it uses a lot of oil.
Yeah,
I only use it like if I have a party and I'm frying a significant amount of food. I've just got a nice little cute one now for when I just want to fry 1 or 2 fishes.
For 1 or 2 people.
You know? Nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's what I like to do. And then I like to let my fish cool a little bit before I put the escovitch on top, because it will just soften it very quickly. So you kind of want the crisp to settle. Then you put your onions and bits and bobs on top. And then you just let it
marinate itself.
A little bit. Yeah.
There's actually, like, thinking about it, it's a very long and slow thing to do. Considering what you end up with is a piece of fried fish.
Yeah.
Like, going to get fish fresh the day before, preparing the fish, descaling it or whatever condition you buy it from your fishmongers.
I get my fish scaled. Do you get them to clean that, the fishmongers?
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing though,
are suffering.
I know. One thing that I learned a long time ago, actually from my ex's mum, was that look inside the mouth of the fish.
Oh, I do the whole thing. I take out the gills. I make sure, because they don't clean it 100%.
No, they don't clean it 100%. But I think even if, like, I don't eat the head. My immediate family do not eat the head. But look inside the mouth of the fish, because you can tell from the health of the mouth of the fish if the fish itself was good. And there was a time, this might have been a WhatsApp conspiracy story, I don't even know, but that a parasite would eat the fish's tongue. Yeah. And therefore the fish is dead because the fish has died.
Oh, there was a time where even red brim was filled with parasites.
Yeah, and when you open the mouth,
little tiny worms.
Yeah, when you open the mouth of the fish, you'd see that actually the dead parasite was in the fish's mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
This is taking a turn, but
another way that they say
check the freshness
is to check the eyes of the fish. If it's cloudy, and they should be clear. If they're cloudy, it means that fish has been
already
chilling.
Dead. Yeah, the fish was dead. It was caught dead, basically.
And it's old.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
So just make sure checking the condition of your fish, same way you check the condition of your meat or anything that you buy.
Yeah.
But fast forward now along the story, the fish is done. Is there. I'm gonna go in the kitchen. I'm gonna cut myself a few medium slices of hardo bread.
Yeah.
Thin to medium. My dad likes thick cut.
Yeah, I do like.
My dad likes
thick. Oh,
thick cut.
I just remember. I've literally.
It's not gluten free. It's not gluten free. It's actually not. It's not.
Yeah. Anyway, I've just had a flashback of when I've had a chunky piece of fish with a carrot and the onion,
hardo bread,
and then on the
hardo
balance, bread,
the ratio.
Do you put butter on your hardo bread?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Of course,
it's actually fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Do you have it with cocoa bread at all?
No.
I have had that a few years, but I think I prefer.
I would bread if I had access to good cocoa bread, because cocoa bread and me.
Yeah. The cocoa bread, when you go to Jamaica, you go to the patty shop, different.
We can't talk about that right now.
Yeah.
I miss Jamaica so much. We can't have
that
this conversation.
Cocoa bread tastes different. Oh, goodness.
And did I tell you one time I fell down a rabbit hole, decided that I miss cocoa bread so much I was going to learn how to make it.
It's not easy, you know.
It's not easy.
I've done it before. I followed a recipe.
Yeah.
Was it very good? I'm not going to say who. They were flat and they were a bit dense.
Yeah. That's the thing. So I watched all of these YouTube tutorials from these freshies back home. So the YouTube video is terrible. It's terrible. It's 45 minutes. Not edited. And then
when they're looking around for a pot,
and they left the camera rolling. Yeah. And then when they say leave the dough to rest, I'm just watching the dough rest. Anyway, got to the end of about 5 tutorials, and I was like, that's what you want me to make? This is the outcome of this video. I said, no, your recipe's no good. So I know what I'm looking for. This might be one of those things that I just have to charge to the game in terms of if I learn how to make it, it's over for me.
I'm coming to get some if you learn how to make it.
If I learn how to make it, it's over for me. It's over for everyone.
Yeah, I love cocoa bread. Absolutely love cocoa bread.
Especially with that buttery, that
when you
fatty,
open it,
and you got that, and then put a patty in there. Or anyway.
When it tastes like the sweetness of the coconut or whatever's in there. Some people are literally just making soft. It's almost like Jamaican focaccia. That ain't cocoa bread. Do you know what I mean? The flavour is missing in cocoa bread sometimes. But when it's got the flavour, because it's not the same as like hardo bread.
No,
the
not
flavour
at all.
Is completely different.
Not at all.
I love it. So yeah, I do like to have fried fish and cocoa bread. Do you know what I love?
Go on.
Fried fish and bammy.
Surprise, but yeah.
Fried fish and bammy.
Fried fish and bammy makes sense. So bammy, I think we spoke about bammy on our episode, Jamaica Food versus the World.
I think so, because I love bammy.
So bammy is made of grated cassava. It becomes a disc, and then it's a lengthy process of food to make bammy. But the end of it is either soaked and fried, or
Soaked and
steamed.
Or steamed and then fried. That's my favourite
Some
way.
kind of moistening before you fry. You can't just fry the disc of...
Some people soak it and then fry it. But some people soak it.
In milk.
Steam it, and then fry it. That's how I like to have it. Yeah, but the last time I went to Jamaica and I went to like a fish restaurant where they do like, you can either have it fried, steamed, etc. Right. And then you can have bami, water crackers, whatever on the side. And he was like, how do you want it? Steam and fry? I said, yes. And it was fantastic. Oh, absolutely fantastic. So I do love to have any excuse to have bami, but fry fish and bami.
But this is what I'm saying. This Easter weekend is not about juicing. This is about high carb consumption. High carb consumption and high protein in the form of fish. I will say one thing though. Growing up, I didn't really eat fish. Well, not really. I didn't eat fish.
Even fish and chip shop fish?
No, not really. I was a saveloy chips girl.
Oh, okay.
So
gosh, the pork, it's got you in the chokehold, isn't it?
I was a saveloy chips girl, and my Good Fridays growing up were very hungry.
Really?
Because
so you actually wasn't interested to eat fish?
No, and provisions were not made for me.
Oh, sorry about that one.
It was, this is what we're eating. Yeah. I mean, this was every day of my life, but particularly on Good Friday, it was like, so you don't eat fish? Oh, what a shame. So I think the first turning point for me of fish was the Good Friday when I was like, right, come on then, like, right, give it a go. I'll give it a go. And lo and behold, I was like, this is quite nice.
I love it.
It's quite nice. And I've been eating fish now probably since I was like 15. Mm-hmm. But I didn't eat fish before that.
Oh, I've always eaten fish. I love it.
I think I was eating prawns and stuff first.
Okay.
No, maybe a bit younger than that. Maybe like 13. And Good Friday escovitch fish just spun me.
When my parents had a restaurant, we'd do like something for Good Friday, and then the menu would have like steamed fish.
I was gonna say, fried fish. What other iterations would you brown stew fish on a Friday?
So, do you know me and brown stew fish? It's not my favourite.
Would you salmon on a Good Friday?
No, I tend to just have like the whole of fish from the fishmonger. It's more very much like traditional Jamaican bits and bobs. I'll have saltfish fritters because they're fish forward.
I would accept.
So I'd have saltfish fritters. Okay. A bit of steamed fish. Pepper prawns is another dish that requires vinegar traditionally. I see a lot of different variations of pepper prawns.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say that those are Jamaican pepper prawns. I'm seeing people put sweet chili. I'm seeing them in very rich, thick sauces. They're very
Alfredo.
They're very much like steamed in a spicy, vinegary type. I wouldn't even call it a broth. They're just like steamed prawns. Yeah. And if you go to Jamaica, you'll literally get like a plastic bag of them filled with prawns. They're very spicy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten them. But there's a fish and bami corner drop when you're driving to St. Elizabeth, where my family are from. On that drive, and every time we stop there, your car gets swarmed.
Are you talking about the place where you go through the bamboos and there's literally like a strip of people?
Oh,
I don't remember what that
Holland
place
Bamboo.
is.
No, not there.
Okay, because there's like literally like huts lined up.
Yeah.
And everyone's frying fish, everyone's got bami, and you have to find the
Or
the
is
best
it by
person.
Holland Bamboo?
I just remember driving through there.
And
then you come to like a strip where it's full of them.
You might be right, but I don't remember it being by Holland Bamboo.
I could be conflating two different experiences.
Anyway, but there are roadside places in Jamaica where you can pick up any of these things.
Delicacies.
Yeah.
But I love pepper prawns.
In this economic climate, no one can get there. Anyway.
The last thing I like to have in my fried fish, sometimes, depending on where I'm eating, is festival. I love festival.
Okay.
Why are you rolling your eyes, Holly?
Because you can't get good festival. I can't tell you the last time I had a good one.
When my auntie is around, I'm going to get her to make some festival for you.
So, auntie fried dumpling and festivals, mummy's escovitch
yes, it's the same
fish. Lady. Dad's sorrel. Yeah. I'm coming round.
And his soup.
I need the whole family to be there though.
Right, okay.
Including these extra relatives that bring their things. And which one of your aunties, the same auntie that does the saltfish fritters?
I can do nice saltfish fritters.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let me know when.
Okay. Do you like cornmeal pudding? Because my uncle makes really good cornmeal pudding.
Bring it on.
Okay, no problem.
Can you tell him to oat milk?
He makes it vegan actually. Yeah.
Delightful.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it. Lactose forward.
Yeah. No problem. I got you.
Oh my god, I can't wait. My favourite Easter carb is bun. Mm-hmm. So you may have heard of bun and cheese. It's bun and cheese. I just bun without the cheese. I like to.
Really?
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about it. Okay. So traditionally, bun and cheese, Easter bun and cheese, Jamaican bun and cheese. The cheese is tasty cheese. Tinned cheese.
Yes.
Cartoon cheese.
Yes, load it up.
And it literally comes in a red can, traditionally red can, with like the kind of tinned fish kind of lever top that you peel back, and then you've got cheese in a tin, and it's neon yellow. Actually, it's not neon yellow, but it's yellow. It's yellow.
Do you know what it looks like? The kind of cheese that Tom and Jerry.
Cartoon cheese. That's what cartoon cheese. It's cartoon cheese. Comes out in a block, and then you can slice it off however you want.
It doesn't melt.
Does not melt. It's plastic cheese.
Yeah.
And everyone knows already how I feel about tinned foods, particularly of the corned beef variety. This sits there for me. I cannot say I've ever actually eaten this cheese.
Really?
Because it looks frightening.
It doesn't look frightening.
But
it
also,
looks fake.
It looks terrible. Bun is enough for me. But what I like to do is I like to lay on a thick layer of good butter. Mm-hmm. And that's how I like it.
So I like bun and cheese. And I like bun and cheese with either a good cheddar cheese.
My mum likes Cathedral City on hers.
Red Leicester is quite nice because
that's quite common.
Yeah, it's quite like it's in between cheddar and the tasty cheese.
Yeah.
Or some good old tasty cheese. When I go to Jamaica, I used to love when you go to the supermarket and you can get the bun with the blob of cheese inside. And I really love it. You can literally get it in a packet just like that. I think like kids probably have it for school. And like sometimes you can even get like, I think it's like the packet cocoa bread with a blob of cheese inside as well. It's probably filled with nonsense, but
probably
it's the kind of nonsense that I like. But I do like butter on my bun and cheese.
On top, so
butter, cheese.
Bun, butter, cheese. Yeah.
So bun, butter, cheese. Yeah. And what I actually like to do, I went through a phase of this.
I'm scared.
Oh, relax. I like to put it in the waffle maker. So that it warms and it's like a bun and cheese toasty. There was like 2 weeks of my life I was banging it off. I loved it. A bun and cheese toasty.
How was it
when
weird?
It's warm. This was in
your youth.
My former days before I had changed my life. So well, to be honest, I already had the intolerance by then. But
just ignoring it.
Yeah, I still went through the phase and I absolutely love it. Or I will just literally slice some bun. Toast it, and then put the butter on, and then put the cheese
on the later days of the bun, when the bun is starting
to dry.
That's when I'll start
toasting some help. Yeah, but when it's fresh, it is nice to just have it with butter.
And because we would have eaten fish maybe 3 times that day, because once the fish is made, graze, eat when you want, and it's like fish, bun. The courses alternate throughout the day, and whatever's left over for Saturday. But I love me some bun and butter. Bun and butter specifically, not butter. It just has to be said like that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I like it with cheese personally.
Gross. So that's all things Good Friday, and then Saturday is kind of like a weird, that kind of in between Christmas and New Year's period. Saturday, it's normal life. It's not a bank holiday. It's not.
Just eat what you want.
Yeah, because it's the 3 days of Easter where now you're just supposed to be waiting for Jesus to rise.
There might be fish left over. Sometimes.
Yeah, there'll be fish left over, but it might be a very low cooking day, or just go out because you can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. In the UK, this is obviously a Christian country, Church of England, but a Christian country. Easter Sunday is almost complete shutdown for us. Yeah,
it's a bank holiday weekend, but it literally is like
the shops are open, but barely, like a couple of hours kind of thing. So it's not quite as significant as Christmas Day in terms of like a national shutdown, but you're at home, you're with your family, or you're going to other family's house. Well, this is my experience anyway.
Yeah.
What are you eating on Easter Sunday?
So I didn't celebrate Easter growing up, so it wasn't a thing. Easter Sunday, I can't even say.
So why were you celebrating Good Friday?
Because I'm Jamaican.
Oh.
So that's
that intersectional
crossover between
religion and culture.
Yeah, exactly. It's tradition. It's what you've grown up doing. It's what you do. So on Good Friday, it's not to say that I wouldn't eat meat. I just had no reason to eat meat because we were frying so much fish. I love fish. We love fish in my house. So it was an opportunity to just eat as much fish as possible. On Easter Sunday, we wouldn't have like a Easter Sunday dinner, but when I was growing up, Sunday dinner was normal. So for me, it wouldn't feel any different from another Sunday because we would have a feast every Sunday.
I celebrated it religiously. Like still celebrate religiously. So we'd go to church on Easter Sunday morning, which is a long mass.
Yeah,
it's a long mass.
How long that took? Because mass is quite
Catholic mass is quite
short
to the mark.
to the point,
but it is always a bit longer. To be honest, all the Easter masses are a bit longer, and the Palm Sunday one, because you walk around the whole outside of the church, it's kind of like the Easter masses are a little bit reenactment-ish.
Okay.
So they take a little bit longer. And just generally, this is Sunday, so you're milling about.
Yeah.
Singing more hymns. Hosanna, Jesus is risen. Hello, Jesus is risen. So by the time we get back, it's usually, I think Easter Sunday is one of the few Sundays of the year where Sunday dinner in my Black Jamaican household will be at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Like, because we just come home from church, you just start cooking it. Just do it.
You cook it after you come from church?
Probably. It would depend. In my youth, it would depend who was cooking it. When I was really young, obviously everything would be prepped.
Okay.
Everything would be done.
Yeah, okay.
But in terms of actually putting stuff in the oven, because no one's in the house. We've all gone to church. So
fair enough.
no one was cooking it before we left. Or maybe the rice and peas might have been on already, the pressure cooker might have been on the peas. Or peas were probably soaked from the night.
Okay.
Stuff is happening. Easter Sunday would be one of those, tea time. Having tea, supper. Dinner time. Whereas traditionally in my household, Sunday dinner will just be at dinner time, like 6 o'clock.
Really? In my house, Sunday dinners were about 4 p.m. Because it was a Sunday, you're supposed to be preparing for the new week. You need to get to bed.
In my youth, they were earlier when I was young because my grandma would do them, which meant they had to be earlier because we had to go home.
Okay.
So it was like an earlier step in the day, and also she would just do that. She would just go to church and come back and cook dinner. That's it, and then she's done.
Your mum's mum?
Yeah, and then she's done for the day. Don't ask me for nothing.
Is this the grandma that you said she'd cook the potatoes?
The dead potatoes. That's.
You said, why are your potatoes like this?
Yeah, crispy and dry because they've been in the oven the whole time you've been in church. That's why. And I told her, don't worry.
Really?
She knew this information. My Easter plate,
right? My
dream Easter plate, the Easter plate that I like, is around a lamb roast dinner.
So it's an English roast?
It's probably what you wanted at Jam Shack.
Okay, with the rice and peas.
With the rice and peas.
Okay.
Rice and peas, roast potatoes as well. Probably not a mac and cheese. Like in growing up, yes. Now, not so much because my dad doesn't eat cheese. So if we're doing a mac and cheese, it's like if there's definitely going to be someone else to eat it.
Okay.
I lay off the lactose. Mom's like, I'm not doing a whole mac and cheese for me to be eating for the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not mac and cheese, but I agree it should be there. Like if you want it, I'm not going to fight you off of that. 3 carbs, plenty of carbs there. Roast lamb, loads of gravy, mint sauce because we've got lamb. It's not a Yorkshire thing though. It's not really a Yorkshire pudding.
Okay, because that's just normal Sunday dinner type of vibes, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd expect a Yorkshire if I was having chicken.
Okay, how does that work?
I don't know, Malika. It doesn't matter about how it works. This is my podcast, my platform, and these are my opinions.
Thought it was ours, but...
Yeah, I don't know how it works. It works. Vegetables.
So wait, if you went out for a lamb Sunday roast, you wouldn't want a Yorkshire pudding on it? Is that what you're saying?
I would, but just in my household, I wouldn't expect it.
Okay.
In my house, I probably wouldn't expect it. There's so many things going on. Carrots. It's not a parsnips day. I don't think it's a parsnips day personally.
Okay.
And a green, either a steamed cabbage type.
Yeah.
Jamaican black pepper vegetable.
Yeah.
Or like spring green, some kind of green, or just broccoli.
Yeah, I love spring greens. I think if I was gonna have like an Easter plate, I would probably like to have lamb, but I think maybe it's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
If I'm having Sunday dinners, I do like them to feel like the ones that I had growing up. So I'm happy to have the lamb, but I'd probably like my lamb in some kind of like brown stew type of sauce.
So you want pieces of lamb? I want a leg of lamb.
A leg of lamb.
Yeah.
I'm not really into leg of lamb. You know, I like lamb meat when it's like cooked up, like just chunks of lamb. Yeah. Or so if
like diced shoulder or something like.
Something like that. Or if it is, so I think the one I had the other day probably was like lamb. Yeah, not diced shoulder, but like sliced shoulder, so that you cook the whole thing. Yeah. Almost like pot roast type of vibes. I would like that with some rice and peas, vegetables, roast potatoes, all that kind of stuff. Yorkshire pudding is actually here nor there to me.
I love a Yorkshire, but yeah. And then I think on Easter Sunday, the thing that everyone is probably most familiar with, chocolate eggs.
Yeah.
Can't say it's ever been a big part of my life.
I used to get so when I was growing up, I have a lot of cousins, and I think we just used to get them. People used to buy them, so I would have quite a few Easter eggs. And my mum's friends would give me Easter eggs, and I think I'd end up having to give some of them away because I'm not a chocolate person.
That's the thing. Yeah. I'm not a milk chocolate person. Never have been. My sweet tooth is so sweet that I would go to white chocolate. I still have that preference now, but my mum would kind of roll her eyes every time someone gave me a chocolate egg because it's one more chocolate egg that she's either going to have to tell me not to eat or find a home for. But what we'd end up doing is after Easter, or on Easter Sunday, is melt them all down and do them little chocolate cluster things. You know with the cereal. Yeah, with the cereal, either Rice Krispies or the cornflakes. Yeah, and we'd do something like that, and then I'd enjoy it a bit more. Yeah. But I think there's definitely a part of my Easter Sunday day which involves, as a child, and I guess as a family, like something that you probably do if you had kids, is something around chocolate, because it's just this is the most commercialized aspects of Easter. But I don't necessarily think there's not a dessert that comes to mind for Easter Sunday personally. There needs to be a dessert, but there's not like the
hot
Easter
cross
dessert.
Bun.
Ooh, we did not.
Hot
and I've even got a little something here, a little bit in the arsenal.
Even though that's not a dessert.
It's not a dessert. That's my breakfast though.
Yeah.
Hot cross bun before church.
But hot cross bun over Easter. There is no Easter in the UK anyway.
No.
Without hot cross buns.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I had some the other day that are the subject of a future podcast episode that were particularly delicious, and I hope they're still around by the time you hear this. Well, they will be, but the luxury fruited hot cross buns from Marks and Sparks.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational stuff. However, Marks and Spencer's have a variety of flavours, because that's who Marks and Spencer's are and what they do.
Caramel.
So they have salted caramel ones, they have Bramley apple, they have blueberry, and they have banoffee. I saw a tweet.
By who? Let's start naming names. By who?
No, I'm not going to name names, so I don't know this person.
Oh, okay.
But it was a picture of banoffee, the blueberry, and the Bramley apple one, and it said, Helen a handcart, banoffee pie, hot cross buns. Who I will name and shame, however, that responded to this tweet and brought it to my attention was Melissa Thompson, aka Foul Mouse Food, at Foul Mouse Food, if anybody wants to go and tweet her or let her know anything. She responded saying, hot cross buns are like donuts. The more people interfere with them, the worse they become. And it was the end that really got me, because the worse they become makes it sound like they were already. But it's negative leading. It's negative forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I completely disagree. I believe, and this might be incorrect, because I've seen Melissa make granola before, and I think Melissa is a raisin hater. I think that's what it is.
A raisin hater?
I think she's a raisin hater. I think she's a cereal raisin hater.
That's a bit of a pun, but anyway.
Cereal?
Yeah.
Cereal raisin hater. That is what she is. And I understand that. A lot of people don't like raisins. I love dried fruit.
Yeah.
Love raisins, I love sultanas. So hot cross bun are good. And the luxury fruited, those
So what's in the luxury fruited? Is it like diced dried fruit and raisins?
Yes, and they're just, honestly, they're so moist. Sorry, I know people don't like that word.
Moist.
So
like you're dribbling into the mic. Yeah.
I know people don't like that word, but they are honestly decadent.
Yeah.
And I think as well, the fruit themselves are like rehydrated, they're soaked. So they're not just like dead little raisins in there. They're almost grapes again.
Okay.
You know? They're almost grapes again.
You're so silly. Yeah, okay. I haven't tried them.
So good. Absolutely love them. So Melissa, this goes out to you. You don't know what you're missing, babe.
I haven't had hot cross buns in a little while because the gluten. Honestly,
I'm sure Marks and Spencer have a gluten-free option.
They do, but you see with hot crust buns, there's certain things.
It
needs that elasticity. Yeah. It needs to feel like a pillow. Otherwise, it's not quite the same. A gluten-free hot crust bun, I just can feel like it's going to be like a hot crust cracker. And I'm just not confident. I might try it. I've got the rest of this week to give it a try. So I'm going to... If you are not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'm going to find a couple of gluten-free hot cross buns and I'm going to give my honest opinion on how I feel about them.
From my immediate research, there's the M&S Plant Kitchen hot cross bun, which is vegan and gluten-free though, so good luck with that.
Gosh.
Then there's the Waitrose gluten-free hot cross bun.
Freeform.
And then there is,
Okay.
But it does say 4 richly fruited hot cross buns.
Okay.
And then I can see the Sainsbury's Freeform caramel and dark chocolate pieces hot cross bun. So.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to give those ones a try. The Sainsbury's Freeform fruity hot crust buns, at first glance, they look terrible. I'm going to be honest.
They look pale.
They look dry.
They look very dry.
And they've got, out of 44 reviews, 2.5 stars. And I'll tell you one thing about the people that leave reviews on Sainsbury's website. They give really detailed, thorough reviews. And they're often... quite in line with my experience. I do like to read the reviews on the Sainsbury's website.
I think supermarkets have paid surveyors, so that's why I think you get that kind of research. Yeah. But honest, but paid surveyors. But yes, hot cross buns are a very important part of the carb-rich Easter landscape.
Yeah.
But I do hope that you find a gluten-free alternative this week that you can enjoy at least by the end of the week.
I hope so.
I think that's the full Easter experience. Probably not, because every single time we cut the podcast, we're like, we forgot, whatever. So if there are any more Easter opinions of ours, we will share them on Instagram and potentially on Twitter. We'll share them on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. Maybe that's what we'll do. If you're on Instagram and Twitter, that's probably where you'll get a more up-to-date feed of what we're up to in and around the podcast. Mm-hmm. And then obviously if you catch this clip on Instagram or YouTube or wherever you find us, please engage with us. Yes. Jump in the comments. We're community building and we can see it and we feel it. So if you have reached the end of this podcast, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.